Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to work on Pascal's triangle. So actually this is an easy problem, but this is actually a complex problem which in the solution, if you see, is being implemented by dynamic programming. Okay, so I'm not going to use that exactly. So I have used a simple approach, and for that I'm going to make you understand that by writing the line by line code, and make you understand by using the flow with that code. So let's have a look. Okay, so let's see the detailed explanation. So let me take an example first. So let's take the example. So we have one, okay, and then we have one here. So after this the main thing starts. So what do we have after this is, at the end of the both node, okay, we will have one, and in the middle for the third row we will have the sum of these two values, so it will be 2, right? Again, for the next row we will have one more element than the previous one. Sorry about the sizes. So again the end will be 1, and this will be the sum of 1 and 2, and this will be the sum of 2 and 1. So it will go something like this. But can you see the pattern? This one, this one, this one, and this one, these two ends are always 1, right? And the middle ones are the ones which we need to calculate. So if the node has a list of size 4, then you already know that the end of these two, the both opposite end will have the value 1. So this one is defined. You just need to calculate what's in between. If the size is 5, you will already know that the end values will have 1, and we have to calculate these ones. So you have to look through the patterns, and what we have to do is we have to first understand what we can see as constant, then we can work around for the values that we have to write down the logic. So 3 things that I can see right now in this diagram is that the first row will always remain 1, okay, the second row will always contain 2 elements of values 1. We need the logic after the second row, and so on. And in the next coming rows after the second rows, what we can see is that the AND nodes will always have the value 1. So these 3 things are going to be constant when we are going to write the code. So first is that the first row will always have the value 1. Second is the second row again have the value 1, but as we are increasing when we are going down, so it will have 2 elements, and this one is going to just have 1 element. And in the third row and so on, we will have both the ends of the node as value 1. So what we need to do is we need to calculate these values only. So this much is defined, right? Okay, so now let me write down the pseudo code first, and then we can see step by step like how is it going to work. Okay, so let's see the Pascal triangle again on the problem. Okay, have a look at the problem first of all. So the first row is having only 1 element and the value is 1. So what you can do is you need to define, I'm going to implement the code using Java, so the logic and the algorithm is going to be same. It's just that the programming language is going to be different in your case. So the logic is that we need to create a list of node having only 1 element first, right? So what we will do is we will create a list of integer I'm going to name it as first row, and it will be like new array list, right? This is your first row and it should have an element, so I'm going to add 1 here. Okay, so your first row is defined. Now in the second row you are going to have 2 values and both of them should be 1. So again you need to create an object which will be like this: list of integer and second row equals to new array list. So now you have created 2 objects. Now you just have to add the elements also here. Dot add 1 and repeat that. So till now what we have done is we have done the constant part and it's ready. It's going to be same for all the cases, right? Let's say we need to just do the computation for n equals to 3. So for n equals to 3 till n equals to 2 you are all set here. This is the constant code which is going to be there, and it's really simple. You are just creating 2 list object and these 2 are having elements which are really constants that you know already. Okay, till here I think it should be okay. Now let's see what's going to happen afterwards. Okay, now what we need to do is we already have our first and second rows. Now we need to create the third row. So what do we need to have? So we need to have first element as 1, the last element again as 1, and the middle element we need the sum of these 2 values. So what do we understand? Let's say this is our new row. So this one will be our previous row, right? This much is okay. So this previous row is having 2 elements. In this case what we need to do is we need to do previous row dot get 0 plus previous row dot get 1, right? This is what we need to do for this one, and this one again these ones are constant, so we don't need to write any code for this. When I say code I mean logic. So I think this is okay. So let's see how the code should look like. First of all, let's replace these constant with a variable which will be generic for us. So what can this be? Let's say I equals to 0, right? Then this one will be I and this one will be I plus 1. Good to go? This much is okay. So what does it mean is that we need to use a for loop. For I equals to 0 you can write int, I forgot to write that, and till when you need to do it, you need to do is till the questionnaire is asking you for generating the rows. So I am assuming the case as 3 right now, so I'm using 3. So it will be 3 right now, so I'm using n here, and it will be I plus plus. This is your for loop, right? So now what we need to do is we need to write the generic code so that this logic will work each time. So we have to first create a new row, right? So again list integer, and I'm giving it a name new row equals to new array list. Okay, this much is okay. We have just created the new row. Now we know that the first element should be 1, so I'm just adding my first element here, new row dot add 1. Okay, and there will be some code in between, but you already know we need to add one more element here, which is new row dot add 1. Okay, this much is okay. So this is all generic till now. Now the main thing starts. What's the main thing? Main thing is that we need to calculate the middle value, which is going to be your 2. So to calculate this, you need to find out the previous row first. So to get the previous row, you already know that we are having in the method, we have a list of list, right? So when we have a list of list, we are working on here right now. So this one is containing all the rows. It will contain your first row, your second row, and your third row. So this list is already having first and second row. I forgot to put that in the last explanation, but I will write down that in the code, so it will be more simpler. Right now you can just imagine this list is having your first and second rows. So you just want to get the second row right now. So how will you do that? You already know that we have completed the first row and second row, so you will maintain a counter. Okay, so I'm just maintaining a counter here that we have done till 1, right? So this is your 0th index and this is your first index, so this should be okay. But do we really need this count to identify? Do we really need a 0th index right now here? Can we replace both of them as 1? So answer is yes. So the count variable is basically being managed by your I variable. So what you need to do is, you don't need to start from 0, but you need to start from your rows. So I have already completed first and second row, so I will be starting with this one. So it will be 1. Why not 2? Because we need to fetch the previous row also, that's why. So to get the previous row, what you need to do is, you just need to use the get method. Let's say our list of list has a name output. So what you need to do is, you need to fetch the previous row, which will be output dot get, and you will use the I variable to get the value, and you will have your previous row here. So it will be again list of integer. Okay, now we have the previous row. What we need is, we need to iterate. Why iterate? Because we don't know the size, we have to make it generic. So we will use a for loop again. Okay, so we need to use a different variable j, which will be starting with 0th index. Okay, this one, and it will go till this length, but it will end -1. I'll explain why. Now what we need to do is, you just need to, in this one, new row, add a value which will be the sum of previous row dot get j, which is 0th index, plus previous row dot get j plus 1. Okay, so we are expanding by 1, and here we are at 0, here we will be at 1. So there will be a point where we are at this index first and there is no further element. So in that case, we don't want to check for j plus 1, we want to end. So that's why I put this condition, when j equals to 1, this condition will not be true. So right now the size is 2, so I forgot to use size previous row dot size. So this one is 2 right now, 2 minus 1 is 1. So if j is less than 1, j is right now 1, so 1 is less than 1 is not true, so it will not go inside. That's why I had to use -1. So this is the complete code, and when you add the new row, the last element, you just need to append this new row to your output list of list variable. That's it. That's the whole code. So let me do a dry run also, just for your understanding. Okay, I hope you can see all of the code, because the board is really small. I don't know, it was hard to fit all of them in here. So let's do a dry run. So we know that we need the first row and the first element as 1. So what we did is we created a new list. So first of all, as you can see, I have created a list of list, which is your output, which we are going to return to the method. So after initializing that, we just created a new list, which is your first row. So this is just the creation of new object. Here we actually added the new variable. So the first row is done here, but we need to add this first row to our output also. So here we did that. Now we are creating the second row. So this is again the new object creation. In the second row we added 1 and again 1. So both of them are added, and we added the second row to our output. So now we have 1 and 1 here. So constant are done. Now we are coming at the for loop. So for loop is starting as index 1. So that means that this is your first index. Okay, so now we again created a new object for the new row, and we added the first element as 1. So till here we are done. Now what we did is we fetched the previous row, which is your 1, 1. Okay, so now j equals to 0, which means this value, and j plus 1, this value is going to be added. So it will add 2. So right now j was 1. Again the loop start, j will be 1, but the previous row size is 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 less than 1 is not true, so it will not go inside, it will end. So it has appended 2 here, and we have again added 1. So 1 will be added here, and the output is added. Now the loop will again start. So this computation is for n equals to 5. So now n n has a value 5. So I was 1, now I will be equals to 2. So it will again create a new array list. Sorry, it was not for 5, it is for 4. I think it's 5. Sorry for the confusion. Okay, so what it will do is it will create the new object, and it will add the first element as 1. So here we will have the value 1. So now it will fetch the index value 2, I equals to 2. So the second row is this one. So it will fetch 1, 2, 1. So now j equals 0. So let's write it down. J equals to 0, and 0 is less than previous row dot size, which is 3. So 3 minus 1, so it means 0 less than 2. This condition holds true, so we will go inside, and it will calculate j0 and j1. Okay, so which is 1 plus 2 equals to 3. So this 3 is going to be added in the row, but the loop hasn't finished yet. So now j equals to 1. So now j equals to 1. Now 1 is less than 2 again, so it will fetch get 1 and get 2. So 0, 1 is 2, and 0, 1, 2 is 1. So 2 plus 1 is again 3. So it will write down 3 here, and the loop will again start. So now j equals to 2, but 2 is not less than 2, so it will not do anything. It will come out of the for loop, which is still here. Now it will add the new element 1. This is done. So now again the loop will start. Now the I will have the value 3, so it will again create a new array list, which will be this one. It will add the first element as 1, and then it will fetch the the previous row, which will be of index 3, so which is this one. Okay, so this is having value 1 3 3 1. So again it will start the loop. Let me erase all this. So now j equals to 0 and 0 is less than, the size is, what's the size? 4 minus 1 3. So this condition is true, so it will get 0 plus get 1, which is 1 plus 3. So 1 plus 3 is 4, so it will write down 4 here. Okay, now again j will be equals to 1 and 1 is less than 3, so it will get 1 and 2. So the one at index 1 we have value 3, and the second index we have value 3, so 3 plus 3 equals to 6. So here it will have the value 6. Now again the loop, j equals to 2, 2 is less than 3, so it will get 2 and 3. So at index 2 we have value 3 0 1 2, and at index we have value 1, so 3 plus 1 equals to 4, so it will write down value 4. Now j equals to 3, but 3 less than 3 is not true, so it will not go inside the loop this time, and it will exit, and it will add the row dot add 1, and then it will add the entire row to the output, so this one is also added. So now the I value will have the value 4, and again this value holds true, right, because 4 is less than 5, because we started with 1. So what you need to do is, you don't need to do anything now, right? So what you can do is, you need to do n minus 1, and that's it. So that's the detailed explanation. Now let's write the code on LeetCode platform and see if it is able to pass all the test cases. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so let's write down the code. So what we have here is, we need to first return a list, right? So for that we need to create a list like we created before. So list of list, and name it as anything you want. I'm going to use output. Okay, then you just have to return this, and just to for safe side you can also try to run this, but it is going to be a wrong output. So in the first node we need to add 1, so I'm going to create a array list, first row, and then add. So now we need the same thing, but before that we need to add it, first row to the output, and now we need to do the same thing for the second row. And rename. Okay, so we are done here. So just in advance, this code will create the problem for us, but I'm going to write it down because we need to understand this, like, because these are the constant, right? Now what we needed is, we needed to create a for loop. Int I equals to 0, I will be less than the num, which is your num rows, and then increment. Now we need to create a new list again, which will be our new row. So we need to add the first element because we know that is going to be 1. Now we need to get the previous list. Output dot get and then the index. So this is where we are going to get the issue. Okay, so afterwards what we need to do is we just need to use the loop to iterate over this new list. So for loop, a new variable, and then add this to new row dot add and previous row dot get j plus previous row dot get j plus 1. Okay, so when this is done, we just need to add a new row. Okay, this is done. Now exit out of the loop. No, but before that we need to add this to output also. Now it's done. So let's run this. Okay, it's successful. Okay, let's submit. So it failed at 0th index. So this one is quite obvious. In case of 0, the output should be blank, but we are returning this constant. So we need to just check before. So in the case of default, we just need to return right here. So what we need to do is we need to do something like this: output, if num rows equals 0, then return the output. So now let's run this. Okay, it failed, but it failed at the first input. So in the case of first, the num rows equals to 0 or 1, we need to print 1 only, but we are again printing this. So what you need to do is you need to do the same thing but afterwards. Okay, like this. So now when you submit, it's done. So as you can see, its runtime is 0 millisecond, faster than 100%. Memory usage is also good. If it is above 50%, then it's good. So that was about this problem. Do let me know if you need any more simpler solutions for LeetCode problems. I am actively working on them right now, so I will get the practice out of it. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do that. I need your support, guys, and let me know if you need any specific content other than LeetCode. I will be happy to do that. And stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great day. Bye bye.